The red plains stretched for miles under a burning orange sky. The ground was dry and cracked, covered with sharp red stone and strange black plants that bent in the hot wind. No living thing walked there unless it had to. Every alien species knew this land belonged to one creature alone, the Bloodfang. The Bloodfang was not just an animal. It was a legend of fear. It had long claws, thick armor skin, and teeth like curved knives. Many explorers had tried to study it. None had come close and returned calm. The Bloodfang always chased them away. Some said it killed without thought. Others said it could smell fear. Because of this, the research team stayed far from its territory. They watched it through flying cameras and sensors hidden in rocks. They never walked into the Red Plains. Among the team was a human medic named Aaron Cole. He was young and quiet, with tired eyes and a kind voice. His job was to treat injured explorers, not wild monsters. The aliens warned him every day. "Never go near the Bloodfang," said Dr. Zarn, the leader of the mission. "It is a death creature. It cannot be reasoned with." Aaron listened, but he did not agree inside his heart. He had worked on many planets. He had seen many strange animals. In his mind, pain was the same everywhere. A wound was still a wound. One morning, Aaron noticed something strange on the scanner. A dark line crossed the edge of the Red Plains. It was moving slowly. Blood. He followed the signal with a small drone. The camera showed deep marks in the red stone and thick drops of dark liquid. It looked like the Bloodfang was hurt. The other scientists saw the image and became nervous. "It fought another Bloodfang," said one alien. "Now it will be more dangerous than ever." Aaron stared at the screen. The creature was lying near a rock ridge, breathing slowly. Its side was torn open. The wound was large. Even from far away, Aaron could see it was in pain. "We should stay away," Dr. Zarn said. "Let nature decide." Aaron did not answer at first. He felt something heavy in his chest. The Bloodfang was feared, but it was still alive. It was still suffering. That night, while the camp slept, Aaron packed his medical kit. He took bandages, cleaning tools, and a small light. He left his weapon behind. The Red Plains were silent as he walked. Each step felt loud in his ears. The air smelled of metal and dust. His heart beat fast, but his mind stayed focused. He told himself again and again, "Move slowly, do not threaten, do not run." When he reached the rock ridge, he saw it. The Bloodfang was huge. Its body filled the space between two stones. Its chest rose and fell with slow, heavy breaths. Its eyes opened when Aaron stepped closer. The creature growled. The sound shook the ground. Aaron froze. Fear ran through him like ice. But he did not turn away. He raised his empty hands and slowly sat on the ground. "I am not here to hurt you," he whispered, even though he knew the Bloodfang could not understand words. The Bloodfang stood up halfway. Blood ran from its side. Its legs shook. It looked ready to attack. Then something strange happened. The creature stopped moving. It stared at Aaron. Its eyes were not filled with anger. They were filled with pain and confusion. It took one step forward, then another. Aaron did not move. The Bloodfang lowered its head and made a low sound, not a roar. It sounded tired. Slowly the creature sat down. Dust rose around its heavy body. It did not strike. It did not run. It simply stayed still. Aaron could not believe what he saw. His hands shook as he opened his medical kit. He moved slowly, showing each tool before touching the wound. The Bloodfang flinched when he cleaned the blood, but it did not attack. It watched him closely. Its breathing grew calmer. From far away, the alien team watched through their sensors. They could not believe it. A human was standing next to the Bloodfang, alive. Minutes passed like hours. The wind moved over the Red Plains. Aaron worked in silence, focused only on the wound. When he finished, the Bloodfang lifted its head and looked at him again. It did not roar. It did not run. It stayed. Aaron slowly stepped back and bowed his head. Then he turned and walked away. Behind him, the Bloodfang remained seated in the red dust, alive and no longer alone. And for the first time in history, the Red Plains did not belong only to fear. The next morning, the alien research camp was in shock. The sensors had recorded everything. A human had walked into the Red Plains and touched the Bloodfang. No alarms sounded. No attack happened. Dr. Zarn watched the screen again and again. "This should not be possible," he said. "The Bloodfang kills anything that comes near." Aaron sat quietly on his bed, cleaning his medical tools. His hands still felt strange, like they remembered the heat of the creature's skin. He did not feel proud. He only felt worried. The Bloodfang was still wounded. The scanner showed that the creature had not moved far. It remained near the rock ridge. Its body temperature was high. The wound might open again. Infection could come. Aaron knew what he had to do. He picked up his medical kit once more. Dr. Zarn stepped in front of him. "You will not go back," the alien said. "You survived once. You will not survive twice." Aaron looked at the screen. The Bloodfang was lying alone under the red sun. "If it dies, it will be because no one helped it," he said softly. The aliens did not understand this thinking. To them, danger was something to destroy or avoid. To humans, danger could also be something to face. Aaron walked into the red plains again. The heat was stronger this time. The wind carried dust into his eyes. Each step felt heavier than before. His heart beat fast, but he kept walking. When he reached the rock ridge, he saw the Bloodfang rise slowly to its feet. Its wound had reopened. Dark blood ran down its side and stained the red ground even darker. The creature roared. The sound was loud and full of pain. Birds in the sky flew away. The ground shook under its claws. Aaron stopped. He did not raise his hands this time. He only stood still. "I came back," he whispered. "I am not your enemy." The Bloodfang moved closer. Its teeth showed. Its breath came in hot clouds. It was face to face with him now. One move from either side could mean death. From far away the alien team watched. Some closed their eyes. Some believed they were about to see the human die. The Bloodfang lifted one claw. Aaron did not run. He slowly placed his medical kit on the ground and pushed it forward with his foot. Then he lowered himself to his knees. The creature paused. Its claw trembled in the air. Its eyes focused on the small box between them. The Bloodfang sniffed the air. It made a low sound again deep in its chest. Not anger. Not hunger. Something else. It lowered its claw. Then it stepped back. Slowly the Bloodfang sat down again in the dust, just like the day before. Aaron felt his breath return. He moved carefully, inch by inch, until he reached the creature's side. The wound was worse than before. The skin was torn open and heat came from it like fire. He began to clean it again. The Bloodfang growled softly when he touched it, but it did not strike. Its eyes stayed on him, watching every move. Aaron spoke in a calm voice, the way he spoke to frightened patients. "You are strong," he said. "But even strong things need help." The creature's breathing slowed. Its head lowered closer to the ground. Dust stuck to its scales. It was tired. It had fought too many battles alone. As Aaron worked, he saw old scars across its body. Deep lines from past fights. Broken edges on its horns. This was not a monster made for killing. This was a survivor. When he finished, Aaron leaned back and waited. The Bloodfang moved its head and looked at him closely. Its eyes were dark and wide. For a long moment, neither of them moved. Then the creature did something no one had ever seen. It touched Aaron's shoulder with the side of its head. Not hard. Not an attack. Just a slow, careful motion. Aaron froze. His heart felt too big for his chest. From the camp, the alien stared in silence. The Bloodfang stood up and took a step away. Then it turned back and looked at him once more. It gave a low sound, deep and long, like a message without words. Then it walked toward the far end of the Red Plains. Aaron stayed where he was until it disappeared into the dust. When he finally returned to the camp, no one spoke at first. Dr. Zarn stepped forward slowly. "You faced death," he said. And death sat down. Aaron looked back at the Red Plains. "It was never death," he said. "It was only pain." That day the galaxy learned something new about humans. They did not walk toward monsters to fight them. They walked toward them to understand them. Aaron returned to the Red Plains the next morning, carrying his medical kit. The sun was low and orange, casting long shadows over the cracked red ground. The air was still, almost as if the plains themselves were holding their breath. The Bloodfang's wound had worsened overnight, and its movements were slow. Each step it took left deep marks in the dust, and dark blood stained the stone beneath it. The alien research team watched from a safe distance, their sensors trained on every move. Dr. Zarn shook his head. "No human should be this brave, or this foolish," he muttered. But Aaron did not hear. He only focused on the creature ahead. Aaron walked slowly, careful not to make sudden movements. He knelt at a safe distance and opened his kit. Bandages, cleaning fluids, and tools were arranged neatly. His hands moved with calm precision, even though his heart raced. He spoke softly, not expecting the creature to understand. "I am here to help," he whispered. "I won't hurt you." The Bloodfang's large head tilted slightly. Its eyes followed every motion. It growled low in its throat, a warning. But it did not charge. Aaron noticed the creature's chest rising and falling unevenly. The pain must be sharp. Its side was swollen and red, and old scars crisscrossed its body, evidence of countless battles. Aaron carefully approached, leaving a small space between them. He touched the edge of the wound lightly, letting the Bloodfang see his hands were empty. The creature flinched but did not lash out. Step by step, Aaron cleaned the wound, removing dirt and broken pieces of skin. The Bloodfang's growl became softer. Its heavy breathing slowly steadied. Minutes turned into an hour. Aaron's hands moved with careful attention, applying healing paste and wrapping the bandages around the wound. The Bloodfang shifted slightly, testing him. Aaron froze but did not pull away. He let the creature feel in control. Each time it relaxed, he moved a little closer, his movements gentle and deliberate. The alien team could not believe their sensors. It is letting him work, one said in disbelief. No creature should ever do this. Aaron kept talking, softly, telling stories from his life, about planets he had seen and animals he had healed. The Bloodfang tilted its head as if listening, even though it could not understand the words. Something in the human's voice calmed it. Finally, the last bandage was in place. Aaron stepped back and wiped his hands on a cloth. He looked at the Bloodfang, expecting it to attack or flee. Instead, the creature lowered its massive head, almost bowing, and let out a deep, low rumble. It was not a roar of anger, it was a sound of relief. Aaron smiled softly. "You are stronger than anyone thinks," he said. The Bloodfang remained seated, watching him. It lifted one paw and placed it near Aaron's kit, almost as if inspecting it. Then it looked away, scanning the horizon. Its eyes were alert but calm. The alien team was silent. For the first time they saw the Bloodfang not as a weapon, not as a killing machine, but as a living being with its own intelligence and feelings. It had allowed a human to touch it, to heal it. That simple act changed everything they thought they knew. Days passed, and Aaron returned occasionally to check on the Bloodfang. Each time the creature recognized him. It no longer growled or flinched. It sat down when he approached, waiting patiently. Other creatures nearby began to behave differently as well, no longer attacking humans or other species in the area. Aaron's small act of care had shifted the balance of fear and trust in the Red Plains. News of the event spread through the galaxy. Humans were spoken of with new respect. Not because they fought and killed, but because they showed understanding. They could reach creatures others could not. They could heal where others only destroyed. The Bloodfang became a symbol. Aliens and humans alike spoke of it as proof that courage was not only in battle, it was in patience, in calmness, in care. And the humans who had touched it became a living legend. Aaron watched the Bloodfang from a distance one evening. The sun was setting, casting long red shadows across the plains. The creature stood, stretched its massive limbs, and turned its gaze toward him. It let out a low rumble that sounded almost like a thank you. Then it walked a short distance, settled into the dust, and waited. Aaron smiled. He understood then that trust could exist even between species that had never spoken the same language. He packed his kit slowly, knowing the creature would be all right. It would heal. It would live. And the story of that first patch would change the way the galaxy saw humans forever. For the first time, the Red Plains were not just a place of fear, they were a place where courage, patience, and kindness could exist. The Bloodfang had been touched not only by Aaron's hands but by humanity itself. And in that moment, the plains became a new home, not for death, but for understanding. News of Aaron and the Bloodfang spread faster than any signal the aliens had ever sent. Images from the sensors showed the human kneeling beside the massive creature, carefully cleaning its wound. Every species that received the feed paused. No one could believe what they saw. In distant star stations, scientists gathered around glowing screens. "Is this real?" a researcher whispered. "No species allows a human near like that." Humans themselves shared the recordings quickly. The story spread across planets, colonies, and research ships. Every transmission ended the same way, a human sitting beside a creature that was supposed to be untouchable. It was proof of something new, something the galaxy had never considered. Humans did not just survive, they connected. At the alien research camp on the Red Plains, Dr. Zarn sat silently in front of the monitors. He had watched the event dozens of times. "It is impossible," he muttered. "The Bloodfang should have killed him." His eyes softened as he saw the calm in the creature's posture, the way it stayed still while Aaron worked. For the first time he questioned everything he thought he knew about humans. Aaron returned to the Red Plains again not for fame, but because he wanted to check on the Bloodfang. Each time the creature recognized him instantly. It did not flinch or growl. It would lie down, even roll slightly to let him inspect the healed areas. Slowly the sensors showed a change not only in the Bloodfang but in the smaller creatures that lived nearby. Where fear had ruled before, curiosity now emerged. Animals that once ran at the sight of humans or aliens began to observe quietly from a distance. The recordings of Aaron and the Bloodfang became teaching materials across the galaxy. On research stations, young alien students studied the images carefully. "See this?" one teacher said to her students. "This is a human. It walks toward danger not to kill but to heal. That is something no other species does." Debates erupted across many worlds. Some aliens still did not understand. "How can you trust a predator that can kill in seconds?" they asked. But humans simply shook their heads. "It is not about trust," they explained. "It is about understanding. Fear is not the only answer." In time, other explorers tried to follow Aaron's example. Small acts of care began to replace fear in dangerous zones. Humans were seen approaching creatures that no one else dared touch. Some were healed. Some simply allowed observation without harm. Slowly, the galaxy began to realize humans had a different kind of strength. The Bloodfang itself became a star of curiosity and respect. When Aaron approached, it did not just allow him near, it moved closer, watching his movements carefully, learning to trust. The once feared predator was no longer a symbol of death. It became a symbol of patience and understanding, proof that even the deadliest creatures could respond to kindness. News agencies broadcast the story with excitement. "The human who healed the impossible," one headline read. "The monster that chose to trust." In colonies and stations where humans had been seen as reckless, they were now admired. Not for their weapons or their ability to fight, but for their courage to show care where others only showed fear. The change was more than just perception. Policies began to shift. Research protocols once focused on destruction and containment now emphasized observation, healing, and care. Scientists designed tools for humans to interact safely with dangerous wildlife. Military commanders began to note that humans could serve as mediators with creatures others considered untouchable. Aaron himself never sought attention. He continued to visit the Red Plains, keeping careful distance but always prepared to help. The Bloodfang learned to recognize his voice, his movements, the calm presence he carried. It would lie down and allow examination without flinching. Slowly, the creature's confidence returned. Other predators in the region began to act less aggressively, as if the Bloodfang's change had altered the balance of power. The galaxy watched. And in watching it learned something new. Fear was not the only way to survive. Understanding could be stronger than claws or teeth. Patience could accomplish what weapons could not. Courage was not always in battle. It could be in sitting quietly, offering care, and waiting for trust to form. By the time Aaron returned to the Red Plains for the 5th time, reporters and scientists were sending live streams. Aliens from several planets had traveled just to witness it firsthand. The Bloodfang stood in the dust and simply observed, calm and alert. When Aaron approached, it lowered its head slightly, a silent greeting that shocked even the most experienced observers. In that moment, the galaxy realized humans were unique. They were capable of seeing beyond fear, beyond instinct, beyond the simple rules of survival that other species followed. Where others saw only monsters, humans saw creatures with pain, fear, and the potential for trust. And the Bloodfang, once feared as the deadliest predator of the Red Plains, had become a teacher. Through it, the galaxy learned a lesson that no weapon, no fleet, and no technology could teach. Humans had changed the story. Fear no longer ruled the Red Plains. Care did. Trust grew. And the galaxy, watching from countless worlds and stations, could not look away. Aaron returned to the Red Plains one last time, carrying only his medical kit and a quiet determination. The sun was rising over the cracked red ground, casting long shadows from the jagged rocks. The wind was still, and the air smelled faintly of dust and metal. The Bloodfang was already there, sitting near the ridge where Aaron had first approached it. Its eyes followed him calmly, and for the first time, it did not flinch or growl. The alien research team watched from their distant sensors. Even Dr. Zarn remained silent, as if waiting to see what the human would do this time. The galaxy had already seen the videos, the photos, and the reports. But no one knew what would happen now, face to face with the living, breathing creature. Aaron knelt slowly, placing his medical kit beside him. He spoke softly, not to the Bloodfang but to himself. "This is not about fear. This is about care." He reached into the kit and gently checked the creature's side. The wound was fully healed, the bandages gone, the scar a faint pink line across its tough skin. The Bloodfang allowed him to touch it, testing each hand movement with patient eyes. The other predators and wildlife in the Red Plains began to stir. Small creatures watched from a distance, and even another Bloodfang moved quietly behind the ridge. None of them attacked. The air felt different, as if the planes themselves had changed. Something new had entered this dangerous world. Aaron stood slowly and took a step back. He looked at the Bloodfang and then at the horizon. "You have taught me as much as I have taught you," he said softly. The creature tilted its head as if understanding more than words could express. Its chest rose and fell with steady breaths, calm and confident. From the alien camp, scientists recorded every motion. They whispered to each other. It is responding differently than any species we have ever seen. Humans must have something unique," another said. "Not strength of claw or tooth, but strength of patience, of trust." News of this final encounter spread across star systems. Humans were praised not for violence, not for weapons, not for conquest, but for something simpler, something deeper. Courage to face danger without aggression, the ability to understand pain, the willingness to care. Stories were written in every major language, from the farthest mining colonies to the capital planets of advanced empires. The Red Plains became a symbol, and humans became symbols too. Aaron returned to the plains day after day, never rushing, never forcing the creature's attention. Slowly he noticed that other creatures in the area were changing too. Where fear had once ruled, curiosity now ruled. Small predators approached humans cautiously, learning to watch without attacking. Alien teams began to respect the humans' methods, realizing that patience and care could tame situations that weapons could not. The Bloodfang became a legend. Its scar, once a symbol of pain, became a symbol of trust between species. It no longer roamed aggressively. Instead, it remained near the ridge, observing the plains calmly, even allowing a few trusted humans to approach. Its presence reminded every species that strength could take many forms, not just power but patience, understanding, and trust. Aaron's example inspired a new doctrine across the galaxy. Explorers, researchers, and even military teams began to reconsider how they approached dangerous worlds. Instead of fear and avoidance, they learned to study, to observe, to heal. Humans were at the forefront, teaching other species that courage was not always in fighting. It could be in sitting still, offering care, and waiting for trust to grow. One evening, as the twin suns set over the Red Plains, Aaron sat a few meters from the Bloodfang. He did not touch it this time. He simply watched as it stood tall and proud, its scar glowing faintly in the orange light. The creature gave a low rumble, not a roar, not a threat, but a sound that spoke of mutual respect. Aaron smiled. He understood then that this moment was larger than any single human or creature. It was a lesson for the galaxy. By the time he returned to the camp, Aaron knew the story had changed forever. Humans were no longer just observers of danger, they were teachers, mediators, and healers. The galaxy had watched them face death and fear, not with aggression but with care. And in that care, the humans had shown a new definition of strength. The Red Plains were no longer a place of terror. They were a place where courage could be gentle, where patience could be powerful, and where trust could grow between species that once could not understand each other. The Bloodfang remained, alive and strong, a living reminder that fear is not the only way to survive. Aaron looked at the horizon one last time. The plains were vast, the sun dipping low, and the Bloodfang's silhouette tall against the red sky. He knew the galaxy had learned an important truth. True strength is not measured by the sharpness of teeth or the power of claws, it is measured by the heart, by courage to face pain, and by the ability to heal where others destroy. And with that, Aaron walked back toward the camp, leaving the Bloodfang to its home. The creature watched him go, calm and unafraid, a silent promise that the lessons of the Red Plains would last for generations. The galaxy had watched and it had understood. Humans were something else entirely.